we want to receive from every direction possible. And this is what was so crazy when I started doing that, because I kind of had to delete everything I know to receive everything. How much less can you judge? How much less views can you have on something to really receive from everywhere, anyone?
Welcome to the Post Definitions podcast. I'm your host, Freddie Lancia.
Woo! And I'm Marina, and I'm so happy to be here with you and just talk about, I'm not sure yet what it's gonna be about, but
Yeah, I love the lack of planning. Just like we had time, but we want to keep it spontaneous and natural, and I think that makes for a better moment in conversation.
Definitely, yeah. Just keep it flowing, just see what comes out of it, no?
Yeah, and this started out of flowing because I showed you my podcast and you read the simple description about the conceptual boxes we put ourselves in, and how that can hold us back. And the point of this podcast, if you're not aware, one of the points is that I want to bring to light the boxes we put ourselves in and realize that, people are dynamic and interesting, and not just stereotypes, and also what they believe themselves to be. Marianne does something really interesting for her work right now, and is helping people to understand those boxes and escape them and expand them. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you're doing and what you think about this concept. And
Thank you. It was actually so funny when I was reading boxes in the bio of your podcast, because this is exactly the thing that I'm teaching, no? And you could basically call it the craft of the aura, but in German you would translate it as aura surgery. Really, it sounds a little bit wild, but it's actually a pretty easy thing that we do all day, no? And it gives you the tools again to consciously create what you want to see in your life, really having the self-empowerment to step out of the boxes each and every moment you feel like you hopped in again, and really have this space again, this eternal, just, how do you call it, this, just gets wider and wider, your space, no?
What we can be, what we think ourselves, what we think is possible.
Yeah, we're so big, no? We're so huge, and we are already the creators of our life so far, no? Maybe unconsciously, and what I'm teaching is to really hop in and really find out again how you can do it by yourself. Because when I was starting teaching the craft of the aura, it was more like coaching people, but not really giving them the tools to actually do it by themselves afterwards. And this is what the craft of the aura is, to really dive into your energetic system again, see how it's working, see how you can manage everything, and then of course change the reality in your life also, no? Because sometimes there are moments where you're like, no, this shows up in my life and actually I don't want to have it anymore. And this is what you can do. You can just be like, interesting, I'm seeing this right now, and I can flip it, I can switch it, I can change it. And this is such an interesting part, because with every human it's so different. And of course it's always about, there are always these two topics. We were talking yesterday about it, I think, a little bit. It's always about, you want to change something, or you're happy with how it is, no?
Sure.
So, and if you want to change something, this is where I come in and can be your invitation to step into your creation power and to really go for it. Because what if everything is possible, no?
And what if you are happy with your situation? Would you ever try to convince someone to step outside of their box and look bigger, or?
Well, because I used to. When I see a person and feel and perceive, aha, this person could get out of the box but doesn't really want to, maybe, but it could be so amazing if he does or she, no? But if the person is not coming to me and asking me how it works, I can tell the person how much I want. It will not come through, no? So this is what I love about my job, because the people come to me and they have already opened up their portal, kind of, their universe, to let all of this information sink in so they can actually do something with it, no? So I would never, how do you say, convince a person to step out of their box, because in the craft of the aura, we don't say there is a right or wrong. We don't say, because this is quantum physics, no? Because positive and negative energy does not exist. It's just energy, no? So I would never say this person is doing it wrong or right or whatever, but maybe, just choosing a different path than I am. So who am I to judge, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have lots of questions, and we could go in many directions, but I think it's best to lay a baseline framework for our listeners.
Yes.
To maybe a little bit background on what Craft of the Aura is, how you learned about it, and how you apply it, what you do with it, and why you think it's great.
Ooh, it's many questions.
Oh yeah. Let's start with, what is it?
Let's start with the base, yeah. So everyone always believes that the aura is just some colors around your body, and of course you have a vibrational body, you are energy, your body does not end with your skin, no? You're so big, but it's not just the colors or seeing them or being able to see them, but it's really, the aura is your whole energetic system. Like, you have this physical body, no, that you can touch, and you also have this energetical body. Like, that's why you breathe naturally, or like think, or have visions in your mind, or whatever. So, and I always see this energetic system as like a big bubble around you, you could say. Maybe that's even why they say like the aura is just these lights or these colors around you. So I imagine as this bubble around me, and of course it's not ending with the bubble. It goes further, 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 because we're so big. And this is the energetic system. And in the system, you have these tiny little bubbles, the energetic fields. So when you are born, your energetic fields start to build. For example, the field from your parents. So your parents told you when you were younger, oh, you have to wear a jacket outside when it's cold, or you cannot do this, you cannot do that, or all these beliefs, no, all these views on something. So you load all the energetic fields throughout your life with all this stuff. So for example, with the money field, your grandpa told you, when you, how do you say, when you start your own business, like being independent, like not having a job or anything, but
when you start your own business?
Yeah, kind of. Like it could be hard because you don't have any clients, and it's so hard, and you have to work hard and all that stuff. So everything you hear and you accept, you copy in your system, and it's in this bubble. And this is the thing what you're living, no? So if you say like your whole life you're afraid of spiders, this is written in one field, and you are afraid of spiders, no?
Yeah.
So, and all these energetic fields are getting filled up.
Yeah, I heard some interesting examples, like in some countries they really believe that cold makes them sick, and in other countries it's not so strong. And I think that I can't quote any statistics, but I'm pretty sure that people are getting more sick from the cold in those places. I mean, at least, for instance, like, yesterday my friend who's from Turkey, she said, oh, I'm getting cold and I'm sneezing right away. And I was like, that's never happened to me. And of course that's a small example, but like, I don't get sick from the cold, but I guess she's getting immediately sick from the cold.
Yes. It's like, well, you can decide, no, what you want to have. I mean, and this is a view, no? A view on something. Like, it might be different for you than for me. So, let's go back to the energetic fields, because they fill up your system, no? And this is what you believe is your reality. It's what you believe is normal. It's what, in your eyes, it feels like this is life, no? This is life. And it's just set up like that. For example, when I think back of my childhood or when I was a teenager, I didn't even think of that I could change something with that. You know, it was all just set up with the beliefs, with the views, with the assumptions, with the judgments about everything. Everything was filled up. There was not really space. And do you believe if there's so much in your energetic system? No, it's just filled up with all these bubbles, all these views, all these things, how things should be like, how it is, how you are. Do you think that there's space for anything else in there?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I've never thought about it like these bubbles. I think more in like terms of like what's going on in our brain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about like contradictory ideas. Like maybe you believe that, like some people believe, you know, maybe something very straightforward, like in a religion, like they believe in God. But then at the same time, they have also like beliefs where, like they believe in Christianity, like the Bible or something. And then at the same time, they have like, they believe in things that contradict the Bible, you know, that they should be able to drink alcohol sometimes, that they, things like that. And somehow we develop those from both reading the Bible, and we also develop them from our society, and we also develop them from our experience and so on. And so then, yeah, we have like all of these beliefs in this space, and some of them don't even work together, but they exist in the same space. And I find that interesting.
Yeah, it's wild. And this is what's kind of the next step to understand in the craft of aura also, because I would always say, like, we're all one, all is energy, we're all at the same, you know, just, it's this circle. But at one point I was like, I don't really know, because what if each one of us has their own universe, no? You have your energetic system with your own fields, with your own beliefs, and I have the same, and the other ones have the same, so everyone has the same. Also the plants, the animals, everything. And it's so wonderful, no? That when I perceive your energetic system, it's totally different from mine, and maybe one is blue and the other one is red, and the other one is moving fast and the other one is moving slow. So really, this is the first step to understand when you want to manage your system, that you are the biggest, most expansive thing in your own universe, and so are you. And for me, you know, just like you said, I have different beliefs than you, and you have different ones than me, and different ones than the other ones. And they may not, and it may seem that they're not, like, how did you say? Yeah, compatible. But does it really matter? No. Maybe not, because what if, and this is the one, like, it's such a huge part, because if you have this full plate of all these beliefs, all these views, and it doesn't matter what they are, and now we jump back to what I said before, like, what if we just look into quantum physics and there is no negative, there is no positive energy? It is not written in any book ever I was reading, no? It's just energy. What if we don't judge that anymore? All these beliefs, everything. And what if we just clear this plate to really being able to receive what wants to come to us? Because if I'm saying, what can be is, I believe, for example, I'm afraid of spiders because I was afraid of spiders. No, it's just this, so many people have it, it's small, it doesn't really matter, no? But it's like, in this moment, I cannot receive from the spider because I'm saying I'm not touching them, I'm looking at them, I don't want to hear anything of them, I cannot receive from there. So if you say, I am not eating meat for example. I was vegan for 8 years. I know how it is. Now I'm eating meat. If I'm saying I'm not eating meat, I cannot receive from eating meat. So what are you doing in this moment? You are closing all your portals with every belief you have, about anything, spirituality, like what you just said with God, everything. You close these portals and you cannot receive from there. But in the craft of the aura, we want to receive from every direction possible. And this is what was so crazy when I started doing that, because I kind of had to delete everything I know to receive everything. How much less can you judge? How much less views can you have on something to really receive from everywhere, anyone? And this is different to any coaching, therapy, whatever I heard before, because it really tells you to not know anything, to really receive in the moment, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does that lead to trouble sometimes? It's like a kid is open to everything, but sometimes you need to tell it, like, don't do that, that's not good. And then as an adult, you're open to everything, and you don't use your maybe you're using your intuition. You can explain that to me more, but like, it sounds to me like you're not, you learned things from your parents, from your society as a child, growing up, your whole life, and now you're saying forget all of that and, be open to things again, but maybe some things you shouldn't be open to. Maybe that leads to problems, like, for instance, you learned that you don't like this food, and then you try it and over again, you still don't like it, maybe. Or a better example is, you learned that something is wrong, and then you're open to it again. Or like, for instance, hitting someone. I don't know.
How to explain that, you
Yeah.
mean? I mean, because with Malou, our son, because he's right now hitting so many people, and I don't feel like, because you have to figure out by yourself, you have to follow your impulse, and you have to really choose what you want to create, because I'm not saying that he's not able to hit. I know he's always following his impulses. No, he's 2.5 years old. Of course, he's not hitting because he wants to hurt somebody. No, and you always create the problem by yourself. You always do. What if there are no problems? What if there are no problems? What if you just say, aha, this is happening right now. That's interesting. What can I do in this moment to change it, maybe? How can I perceive what my son needs in that special moment right now? Not focusing on, like, because problems can be anything, no? It could be a problem that I'm not wearing long pants right now. It could be a problem that we're sitting here in the garden recording a podcast. It could be, like, So with the craft of the aura, one thing is also, like, problems. We always create problems by ourselves. What if there are no?
You mean like changing your perception to be positive?
Yeah, to just, and this is the part, where you can choose, because there is no right or wrong. Maybe in your life it's nice to fight with your brother and have that kind of situation going on. Maybe not, no? Maybe Malou likes to hunt the cats and, or make it seem like he's, having a fight with them or whatever. Maybe it's fun for him. What if I'm not judging that? What if I'm just giving him space to express, because that's why we're here, no? Because for such a long time I was saying, like, okay, I'm here to learn all of this and to be, to grow up and, have all of this, and then I look in this philosophy book and then I do that. But right now I'm really just like, I want to feel, I have this body, I was choosing this body to express, to live, to follow my impulses, to create whatever I want to see in my life. And why dive into things that are not in serve for me, for example, this. Also another, for instance, this is a big thing, and I know when I say it, it can be a big trigger for so many people, but I'm saying it anyways. For example, with traumas, no? For a really long time in my life, I had a big trauma from my parents. And I was carrying it around. I was always saying, this is a problem. I was always saying, I have to heal it. I was always saying, this needs to be done. And I have to look at my childhood and then why it happened and why and this and here and that. But what I did in the moment and how an energetic field works, I can tell you now. Because the energetic field from this trauma, it doesn't matter for it if I feed it with positive things like healing it, taking time to express the emotion or whatever, or if I'm saying, oh my god, this is horrible, like tears just being in there, it doesn't matter. But what you do with whatever path is you chose to make it bigger. So, and that's the funny part also with Malou. If I would dive into like, oh my god, he's hurting someone, it's a problem, and all of that, or even if I'm like saying, yeah, this is good that you're not hunting him right now and not beating him up. It doesn't matter. It's feeding the field. So, and you can compare it to a pimple in your face, no? It's such a funny metaphor, because when you have a pimple in your face and you want it to go away, what are most of the people doing? No, they like
thinking about it.
Yeah, and
popping.
Think about it, popping, squeezing, and it gets bigger, and
even
more red.
The mosquito bites that are everywhere.
Yes, you're like, oh shit, and it gets bigger. It's just even more, no? So what if you only focus on what you really want to have? Because every thought is like a Lego that you build your castle upon, no?
Yeah. So what do you think about like when running away from a trauma, a problem? You know, some people have a problem and then they literally run away traveling, and then they say, you know, it always comes back. I should have faced it, focused on it. What's the difference between like focusing on the good things and not feeding trauma and just ignoring them, or putting them I don't know, hiding from them, or running away from them?
And this is such a funny part, no? Because as I told you, I was coaching all of this before to really go into the field again, go into the emotion again, to really heal the trauma. But as I told you, you make it bigger, no? And in that moment where you feel like you healed, there will be definitely, because I can perceive what's written in your energetic system. I can see that clearly, that it's not going away when you spend time with it together. It's not. And in that moment, the energetic field behaves like, okay, now I'm fed up. I'm good for now. Thank you so much. No? And then it comes back a couple of years later, and it will hit you hard because you fed it a lot. And this is the moment where you can decide if you want to hop in again, or, and this is why so many people tell us, Craft of the Aura coaches, that we're ignorant, because we are. This is a big tool to really step out of it, to really not do anything with it. Nothing. No look, because this is how the fields are working, and this is so contradictory to everything that's being taught in spirituality right now, no? It's a complete difference. But it works. It works. In my world, trauma is not existing anymore for me. It's not possible anymore. It's not going in there, or having problems about anything. It's not, because I know I can change anything. I'm the creator here, no? And this is what you can also choose for yourself, to really leave that aside and make the fields bigger that you want. And this is the part where some people make it and some not, really. because the fields can be pretty hard on you. They can really get you with emotions. For example, emotions are so significant, so strong load, and if you hop into them, you make it bigger again, and it will not go away. I promise you, it will not. We see that, and this is, and yeah, and then in this moment where you feel like it's getting you, or what can we use for an example? Like, for example, we're creating this property right now, no, this land, and we got the land almost from his grandfather. Everybody said yes, and we were so happy. And then one day after, one of the uncles came again, and he said, "No, you cannot get it. I don't want it." And of course, in that moment, I could be like, "Oh no, it worked!" And no,
like Malu.
drama, yes, and like all of that. No, crying. It's not working for me. I cannot create, and I'm not enough, and I don't know how to do it, and all of this. No. And in that moment, I was just like, "Oh, that's interesting. I know something better is coming," and it did already, 3 days after. So it's your choice if you want to hop in that again and make the field big of I don't know how to do it, I can't do it, or if you say like chaos, I love it. Let's just do it differently now. No.
Yeah, I think I'm really good at dealing with things for myself. Like saying, "Oh, you know what? It's not going to help me to freak out about this." But when it comes to another person being in pain or struggling, then I'm like, "Oh, am I just gonna like act like I don't care about them?" Because really, the thing that is affecting them, it's not affecting me.
Yes.
So I sort of feel responsibility to like be affected.
Yeah.
To like be like caring from like a third party.
Mhm.
And then that's where I'm confused,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it would be easy for me to let it go because it's actually not affecting me. But I feel like it's a good thing to let it affect me in a negative way. And or same thing with like guilt, maybe. Like, oh yeah, I could get over this. Nothing bad happened to me. But if I feel like, oh, I did something wrong and someone else is paying for it, then I feel like, oh, I should also pay for it.
Okay. It's interesting, yeah. I thought the same. I was really like, okay, to help a person and to be in serve for them, to really hop into their emotion and make them feel better with having the same frequency, kind of, no? It's but what you do in that moment is you feed it also.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part, no? To really, how can you be in serve for the person? Or if you really want to be in serve, really lowering your barriers. Like I said before, lowering everything you knew about anything, so your plate is empty. Expanding yourself, and then you can receive also that this is my job, not to receive from your field what is in serve for you right now. And if your body tells me like, let's just hop in the water now, or I want some ice cream, or I want to talk about this, I want to do that, whatever, this is what I'm gonna do for you. And because I know 500% that it will switch up your energy, and this is how it can be an invitation for you. But if you hop in there too, it will make it bigger, and there's no right or wrong, no? It's just what it's doing, really. Yeah.